finding words or we're struggling, that just to communicate that, hey, I'm having trouble right now. I am really struggling. So please listen and know that I'm coming from a place of love. I just don't know how to say it. And then say the thing if they're willing to be
Accept it.
receptive.
Right. That's a key
Hopefully
part.
they will be. A lot of times, they can't. Well, not a lot, I guess, but sometimes.
Well, some people have a harder time than others. Well, you brought up a thing, Jay, just a few minutes ago. You have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And I just as an aside about me, I love the way I was raised. I think I was raised my parents did the absolute best they could.
Mm.
But I was also raised in kind of an overly positive environment. So I'm still struggling with it, of just not putting the best possible face on everything. And sometimes it's not that way, and I have to look at it critically and say, okay, what am I actually seeing, instead of all the parts that I want to see, and I'm just willing to go with that.
Right. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, I wasn't raised to be emotional or affectionate. And so that comes into play too. And so when everybody else is, emotional or affectionate with each other, and I'm just like, I'm here. What do I do now? What do I do?
And I'm kind of calling everybody out like, hey, this is going on. You need to pay attention. And everyone's like, but this is great. Oh, this is horrible. And I'm like, oh.
Let's hear it for yin and yang.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of the interesting thing is the fact that you bring the different perspectives of how everybody was and how everybody, is different into a loving relationship, that they come to it for love. And it's one of those things where this person brings this in a relationship, and we'll have more conversations about that later in different episodes. We have trust me, we have plenty of topics to talk about.
So in short, does polyamory work? Well, it works if you do.
That was all for today. Thank you very much for tuning in with us, and hope you'll be back for our next episode. And remember, from your folks at Polysaturated, keeping it polyamorous means keeping it polyreal.
Check out our website at poly-saturated.com for our schedule of topics and updates. Follow and like us on Instagram at poly_saturated podcast, Facebook at polysaturated, and Twitter at poly-saturated. We look forward to our future together and your future with us. If you're listening to us on iTunes, be sure to give us a 5-star review and subscribe to us.
Keep it polyreal, sweet beans.